Eva Walker. I play in the band called the Black Tones, and I also am a radio host on KEXP. And the theme for today's discussion is the diversity of Blackness, both in music and in life experiences. So we've only got 30 to 40 minutes here on Zoom. So we're just going to dive in right away. And before I ask my first question, can we just go around and say your name, what you do, and what you're most proud of in your career? Malina, let's start with you.
I love it. My name is Malina Moye, and I'm a singer, songwriter, guitarist. I own my own record label. I have my foundation, but I like to think what I'm most proud of is the fact that I came to Los Angeles with $20 and I was homeless and I'm still here.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm still here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Who wants to go next? Yeah, go for it.
I'll go next. Hello, y'all. My name is Shaboozey, Boozy for short. I'm from Virginia. I'm a recording artist, a creative entrepreneur, director, a lot of things, but I'm a human. I'm gonna be here with you guys. Yeah, I'm just really excited about recording music, waking up, being able to create, and just be alive, just connect with people and just be in it,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, am I next? I hope I'm not cutting you off.
It.
Okay. My name is Liv Warfield. I'm a singer-songwriter, performer. What am I thankful for? I agree with you, Boozy, just being here, being present in the moment and being an artist, and whatever it took to get me to this point, I'm still here. I'm still doing it. So yeah, I'm thankful for that right now.
Amen.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you guys again so much for doing this. Now, I have some questions written out, and from the time I wrote these questions to now, there's been a lot happening in the world lately, as we've all probably have been watching the news. So I'm going to go in order of my questions just because that's what I have prepared. But if there's anything you guys want to speak on or speak about as the world's changing every day, please feel free to bring it up. So just want to throw that out there. So my first question is, how did your upbringing influence your ears? Shaboozey, let's start with you.
Oh man, well, I'm a bit of a mutt, as I would say. I'm first generation. My parents were born in Nigeria. They moved. Father came here. Mother got moved out. I was born in Virginia. So that being said, I was around a lot of obviously African music, Nigerian music, but my father also had like a deep love for country music as well. He's a farmer at heart. He moved back to Africa to actually start a farm. So just kind of having that Afrobeat side, but then also, the stuff that was just getting played by my older sister. The first CD we bought was probably like a Brandy CD or Rick James or something like that. I know Kanye was a big person that kind of got introduced to me a little early with his debut album, and I felt like I really fell in love with that music. Just being in front of the TV, turning on MTV, seeing what's on there. Ja Rule, I'm a early 2000s kid.
Yeah.
That was when I kind of came up. So, hip hop, everything kind of, just a big pot of everything.
There's a special place in my heart for Ja Rule that most people don't know.
Nelly, all that changed my life.
Nelly, yeah. Liv, same question. How did your upbringing influence your ear?
Oh, wow. I really had to sneak and listen to a lot because I was really, really, really raised in the church. So I grew up with a lot of like Reverend James Cleveland, Clark sisters, but then I had to sneak and listen to I was listening to like Etta James. She was like my huge first influence for me. Nat King Cole. And then my parents put me in a lot of musical stuff. My mom was trying to throw me in anything to stay active. So I think also playing violin for me was something that I picked up really quick. It helped me musically. So yeah, so that's kind of where I got it. It's kind of all over the place. Whitney was a huge, huge influence. But yeah.
That's great. And Malina?
Yes, for me, I actually was born in Ohio, but then I grew up in Minnesota. So Liv, you understand,
Yeah.
for me, growing up in Minnesota, we were around a lot. And I was able to actually really see the Minneapolis sound. My mom and dad are musicians, and my dad plays bass, and my mom is a singer as well as a drummer. And my mom was also, before I was born, she was doing stuff with Tina Turner. So I just grew up with an eclectic palette of music and hearing, rock, funk, soul, obviously Parliament Funkadelics. A lot of the people who I listened to, we were just fortunate. A lot of these people were always coming by our house as well. So you just, yeah, I mean, like, for me, it's like funk, rock, soul, anything that just has the feel, church.
Yeah.
I mean, Andre Crouch, of course,
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, Janet
Yeah.
Jackson, Shaka Khan, Queen. I could go on. It was like everybody, everything. That was just the palette. My dad took time to explain what each person, each artist, brought to the table, why he liked them. He would like just really break those records down for us, and I just started to fall in love with it and
Wow.
different music like that.
Don't you love that? Just like the exposure of music your family
Yeah.
brings you around. Like I learned
Yeah.
the Declaration of Independence because of the Fifth Dimension. My mom had it on
Wow.
that record Portrait. And my sister had to memorize it for high school. So she put that on and we would sing to it, not really realizing what it was, but we would sing to it. And I was just like, wow, we memorized this document because of this like amazing Fifth Dimension song,
That's amazing.
And Shaboozey, I just recently, the last handful of years, I got into like a lot of Afro rock psychedelia music from 1970s Nigeria. I found this compilation with the Funkies and the High Grades and people like that. And it's just some of the best music in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Fela Kuti, I mean, I came into a lot of these things late, just like Olivia said. I was also raised in the church as well. So Catholic church at that. So it's a different type of church.
Too.
You know what I mean? A lot of hymns, a lot of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of falsetto, you know what I mean? A lot of
Wow.
So, yeah, my music taste is very, very eclectic. But I know that Afrobeat. Like I said, I just remember getting in the car, my parents putting that stuff on, and kind of just it being marinated. I know a lot of songs I do now have a lot of those melodies I heard from when I was a kid just interlaced in there, and I never remember where they came from, but it just always replays in my head.
Yeah,
but
that
then,
is so great.
But then later in life, I kind of got introduced to like rock and roll, right? Like Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant, Pink Floyd, Queen, like Malina said. And it kind of, I've always I'm just interested in it all, I didn't grow up too much making music, but I'm just excited to kind of just be doing it now, I guess.
Yeah, that's the way to be, dude. You shouted out my band, Pink Floyd. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Liv, we'll start with you on this next question. Was it hard to get into the genre that you're all in your respective genres as a Black artist?
This is a great question because I think as Black artists, a lot of outsiders pick us as being one-dimensional. And I say that to say someone would look at me and be like, it's R&B, and it's definitely not just R&B. Or because a lot of people might see me doing some maybe rock influence and they'll be like, oh, you're rock. Not necessarily. It's just it's a gumbo pot of a lot of influences that I have. So the one-dimensionalness about us as a people, as Black artists, that's kind of sometimes my frustration because it's a lot now. I mean, social media and the way of the world now has allowed us to have access to millions of artists, right? Yeah. And so you have to think of like Terrence Trent D'Arby was doing this stuff way before. Like when you see these artists, you're like, oh my God, this is such a new sound. And it's thinking like, nah, we've been doing this, but now you think of us as this whole commodity or like, I don't know. That's a great question. So I'm gonna pass it on.
Yeah, Malina, what do you think?
I think that, two parts. One for me is, I agree totally with everything that Liv is saying, but I think that in the beginning, I always look at it like this. I always say we all have the access to the same notes, the same scale, same progressions. What really separates everything is the story you wish to tell, but it's all the same stuff. So I was never that person to want to put labels on us or genres because I'm like, the notes don't know they're supposed to stay in this lane or this box or this box.
Right.
So it's crazy. But for me, obviously, that's the artistic side of it. But then when you start to think of the business sometimes what they do is they look at you, like Liv said, and they say, for me in the beginning, they would say, "Oh, Malina, please put the guitar down because Black women just don't play electric guitar like that. That's not you. Just sing and dance." And I said, "But I like to play guitar." So then it was like I would constantly have to fight. And then you just gotta stay in your lane, and no matter what, it may take you a while. And I started, and I then that was it. What inspired me to start my own label because I figured I would need my own money, my own label because I see the vision for myself, and I knew that eventually one day the world would see it too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Shaboozey, what about you? Was it hard to get into the genre as a Black
man.
artist?
Oh man, that's such a loaded question. I was lucky enough to come and be born in a time where people have been super accepting. You know, I'm also someone that, you know, I like to carve my own lane and my own space, and you know, I try to take the things that people will consider a block for them and turn that into an opportunity. You know, I'm in it to make history too, so you know, I don't want to be the 100th. You know what I mean? Like man to do something, you know what I mean? Like I want to be, you know what I mean? I feel like I could be the first of you know, of many of something new. So I've actually it's been pretty accepting. You know what I mean? I'm very blessed to just be around people that, you know, really love what I do and just want to make good music. So that being said, it's actually I'm very blessed. You know, haven't had too many crazy stories, but it's been amazing so far.
And that's wonderful. And that's why we're doing this theme of you know, of diversity, because yes, we're Black. We all identify as Black, but we're individuals at the same time. We're not all the same. We don't all have the same exact experiences, where some people face you know, issues trying to get into something, and other people are like, actually, it was pretty easy for me. And that's so important because they just see it like, you're Black, so you've done all of these things. You relate to this person in Chicago or this. I'm like, well, to a degree, but also not really.
Right.
To say this too, when you talk about, but I think also, you know, and then the other side of it is when you start talking the business aspect, when we start talking making money, then you start to realize there are levels to this game. And you know, like some type of a video game you play, you know, there are going to be roadblocks, and you start to realize, well, damn, some of this stuff they really ain't equipped for this because they've never seen a person like me come and do this and this. So you're going to end up being the first to knock down a lot of things. So yeah, and I always say, like, even we talk about rock, there are many variations of rock, punk, rock, metal. I mean, so it's like all those pieces matter, all those things matter, but I think that with great things, obviously we're going to see a lot of oppression as well, but it's about just all of us, I think, uniting and accepting and just continuing to encourage and hopefully inspire and put ourselves out there and tell our story and be authentic. And I think that changes everything.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And even to add on to what Malina said as well, like everything is, you know, there's going to be challenges with everything you do. You know, it wouldn't be fun if there wasn't.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm from such a small town in Virginia that none of you guys have ever heard about. You know, I was one of 5,000 people that went to my high school, and you know, I faced not adversity, but I faced, you know, people telling me I wasn't going to be able to do something, or you know, that it's impossible to do what we're doing. So, I think that's what makes it so rewarding when you get there, you know, and you're like, man, I worked really hard for this, you know, and it's been fun. You know, I like games. Like, every time I play a video game, like Malina said, I put it on the hardest difficulty. I'm ready to go. You know
Let's go.
Like, I can't do the easy.
Let's go.
No,
I like watching people play video games. That's like my comfort zone because I'm not very good. I love them though. So you guys, I want to ask Shaboozey, if you could wave a wand to change the world, how would you change it?
Well, I mean, like you said, the past couple of days, I might have a couple different wishes, but you know, I think I wrote something down here, like people having access to resources that allow them to thrive. I think that's really it, you know, because you know, it's something I think about all the time. Like, you know, is the world in a great place? Like, you know, we're able to wake up and we're blessed to do what we do. But I've lived in Nigeria as well, and I've seen kind of what those people go through, and you know, just giving people access, you know, like I said, to those resources. There's one more thing I want to throw, because Malina, you own a label.
Yeah.
Okay. One more thing I wanted to throw out there as well. Someone asked me, I want to see labels invest more in the areas which they find the talent. You know, we see a lot of labels that kind of are piggybanking or off of a lot of these hip hop artists that come from disenfranchised areas, but we don't see the labels giving back or putting different resources in those areas for them to get people out of those situations. You know, they continue to find more artists that are coming from that and cultivating that. So we need to, you know, there should be changes in those areas that are coming from the label front. So, and
to jump in on what you said, I 100% agree with everything that you're saying. That's why I think that we have to help our next generation and help people to understand what's going on, because the truth of it is you do need those resources 100%. So the labels, they don't really want you to understand how it really works, because that's how they make the money. So our job is to help each other to go, hey man, you know what, honestly, if you set yourself up with the LLC, do this, get the major distribution, we put together PPM, find the capital. Now here's where certain things happen. You're gonna need muscle, you're gonna need money. Certain things are gonna jump off, but it may be a long ride, but here at the end, you'll own your masters. This is something that you'll be able to use. So that's the stuff where I'm always trying to educate. And then I always just say, also, it's money. You really do need finance. I mean, a lot of capital. It's crazy. This is a money-driven business, but it's relationships, and but it's money. And you're gonna have the best songs in the world, but I promise you, if nobody knows about that song,
So Malina, if you can wave a wand to change the world, what would you do? Or what would you change?
Well, to same thing. Seeing what's happening in the world today, it's just crazy to me to sit here and then to go, I'm always like, what else can we do? This is crazy of what's happening in Ukraine. I would want to definitely see all of that disappear. And in retrospect to what we're talking about, I would want to make it equal, meaning all of us are going to start out with the same amount of money and access to the same amount of resources. And now you can go. Yeah. That's what I love to see happen. Yeah. Because there's room for everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I agree. I feel like a lot of us aren't trying to we're not like, hey, you shouldn't have opportunity. It's let's raise the floor, you know? Yeah. That's what it's about. And Liv, what about you? Waving a wand.
Man, if I have 4, 5, 6, 7 wands, 6 I definitely agree with you, Malina. I feel like it's what's happening in Ukraine in my lifetime. I never thought, like, for real. And also the energy of people. Oh, man. For me, the energy of people. If I had the access to just be like, just to kind of turn it around so people can have ways, mental health here. And the access to that. And I don't know if anybody's seen, like, there's this thing called Earn Your Leisure, right? And I think if you follow them on Instagram, I think that having the access, if there was a platform where we can see constantly in our faces for independent artists or artists that need information, right? A lot of us don't have access to that information. A lot of us don't have access to capital. That's right. When we're actually doing these records and we've put our hard-earned money into it, it's kind of like socially, or what kind of technological platform can we use to, like, hey, we want access too. We want to be part of that algorithm, you know? Right. And there's so much music. That's what's so crazy. It's so much, but I don't think people they don't know. They put out a song and they put it out and that's it. But the thing is that the song could be so great, but it gets overlooked by millions. Other people have access to that game and we don't. Right. So it's just, that's such a huge question. But I hope there is a platform like Earn Your Leisure or something like that for artists that we constantly are getting fed. Like, that's why I like Toby. I really love him for, and also United Masters kind of does that too. Yep, a little bit. Right, yep. They're really great at giving the information, or just also inspiring us as independent artists. It's kind of like, okay, here's what you need to do. Here's what you can do, you know? So, yeah.
Thank you. Those are all great answers. Yeah, it's a hard question. And I'm like, I don't have to answer it. So I got a couple more questions here. And one of them that I we want people to see this and know about you all, of course. So if you can each go around and just say, what are you working on right now? Liv, let's start with you.
I just released a live album from Cafe Wa in New York. I'm also doing a different project in Paris called June Moon. We did an album last year. I'm kind of all over the place in a very good way. Just because I promised myself I was going to be busy and stay busy. I know, dealing with this whole COVID stuff and the way the world is now, I promised myself to stay busy because I kind of got into this dark place. I'm used to, as a musician, going into then I guess I could say 2 years ago, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Going into the studio, and that's where I love to be, in the studio with people. Like, I love being in the studio, like vibing off the energy. It was a huge thing for me to be at the house on Logic by myself, try to record vocals, to try to figure out this energy. So I grew a lot. And so it just forced me into taking what being an artist means a little bit more serious than I was before. So yeah.
Amazing. Shaboozey, what are you working on?
Oh man, just trying to get my album turned in. Yeah, so that's been the bulk of it. Album. I have a lot of different side projects I've started over the years, but I felt like I had to put those to the side just to focus my energy on getting this in. So I can't wait to get it turned in. And I got a lot of, speaking of just Black, I'm working on it. I want to produce a show called Banned in DC that is about the DC punk scene from 1979 to 85, which, as you guys know, the Bad Brains hopefully were kind of one of the bigger figures in that scene. So I want to highlight that for my area, hopefully in the near future. So those are my two biggest things right now.
Amazing. And Malina, what are you doing?
Girl, no, same thing. I'm actually working on my album too. We're in the mixing stages. And then of course we are working out the music videos, and then we're looking at a first single probably coming in early summer, and then the album will definitely hit late fall, and then we'll head on tour, and then God willing, we'll go back overseas in November and then try everything again, and then a few partnerships that I can't wait to announce that I've been waiting for is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then also just meeting new people, and like what we're doing right now, just continue to share my experience and hopefully share the knowledge that I have so somebody can keep running as well.
Awesome. Wow, this is awesome. I'm so proud of all of you. So proud. I'm going to leave you with, I'm not going to leave you, but I'm going to give you one last question before we go here. What do you love about yourself when it comes to your career? Malina.
Wow, that's a good one. I love the fact that perspective, and I realize that what's important, a lot of the things that have happened in my life and the bad things, I've learned that we should embrace the bad things that happen because they help you as you move forward, and you get to look back and go, man, I totally understand why God did that. And I'll leave you with this. My dad would say, sometimes opportunity has a slick way of coming through the back door and is often described as temporary defeat or misfortune. Perhaps that is why so many fail to recognize opportunity. We have this perspective again. You didn't get what you were looking for because now you're available for what the world and the universe has for you. So always keep that in mind. If it's for me, trust me, that's going to chase me down. That's just how that's going.
That's wonderful. Liv.
Can you go to Boozy for a second? Because that's
sure.
I might need you to hit me with a question one more time.
Yeah, Shaboozey, what do you love about yourself when it comes to your career?
Man, I love Malina's answer. I might even agree with that. Perspective, awareness. I just love that. I have a mind of my own. Very, very much. I look at the world in just I just believe I look at it in a very different way than others do. I'm someone, like Malina said, I don't really look at the bad look at those as opportunities for myself. And just a way to just, craft a unique story, so for the most part, yeah, perspective, I do agree with that. And just awareness.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, Liv.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to really assess that. I think because I traveled down this path a little differently, because I thought I was going to be throwing the javelin and stuff like that. Like I was going to be in the Olympics. God had a different plan. And so I feel like, Malina, you hit it like right on the head. It's like perspective, right? And I feel like I'm doing everything that I feel like I'm tapped in that I need to do for me, perspective wise, musically. Like as long as I stay listening to that,
Amen.
as long as I stay listening to the calling, for me, it's a gut feeling. I tell everybody it's a gut feeling, and y'all know that, you know, that gut feeling. And so as long as I just keep listening, and I know the road is not always going to be easy, just the calling and perspective, and that I know that I'm doing the right thing, just vocally and musically and lyrically, and to do it for all the right reasons, it's going to be good.
Amen.
Amazing. Thank you, Liv. Thank you, Shaboozey. Thank you.
Thank
Malina.
you.
Thank you guys so much for speaking with me for American Songwriter on this. You guys are doing amazing work. I'm rooting for all of you, and please just keep it up.
You
We're
as
rooting
well.
for you.
Yeah.
I love all y'all. I'm proud of all you guys. Keep pushing forward. Keep raising the roof, and let's keep kicking ass, man.
Thank you
for you.
so
Yes.
much.